Parag Agarwal is a Brahmin. Parag Agarwal is privileged. Parag Agarwal used his privilege to become the CEO of Twitter. Parag Agarwal is going to come after whites because he's a Brahmin. These are a few of the narratives swirling on the realms of social media ever since Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey handed his position to Parag Agarwal. Yes, you heard it right. Some people hate Hindus and Brahmins to such an extent that they believe Parag became the CEO overnight due to his Varna. Hi and welcome. You're watching TFI English, the national socio-political analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Piyush, and in this video I will tell you how the appointment of Parag Agarwal as the new CEO of Twitter has left the anti-Hindu Americans and anti-everything Indians fuming with rage. Let's begin. Controversial social media platform has had a change of guard on Monday, that is 29th November. CEO Jack Dorsey stepped down from his position and passed the baton to Indian origin Parag Agarwal as the new CEO of the micro-blogging platform. However, no sooner did Parag's news of secession hit the newsstands, the Hindu-hating, Brahmin-hating lobby came out in large numbers out of their burrow holes and targeted Parag by remarking that he was elevated to the position because of his caste privilege. One netizen named Dalit Diva took to Twitter to share her meltdown upon Parag's appointment and coined the hashtag caste in tech. She also asked the new CEO to speak about his caste by remarking, in the grand Silicon Valley tradition of white cismen passing the torch to Brahmin cismen, Jack Dorsey is stepping down and Parag Agarwal is the new CEO of Twitter. Will he also remain silent about caste? Meanwhile, after Elon Musk stated that US benefits greatly from Indian talent, another oppressed Indian activist chimed in with the caste remark. The netizen named Yash Meghwal asked Musk, "Have you ever thought about the caste privilege of those Indians?" For a hot second, let's pretend that Parag got the top CEO position due to his caste privilege. The caste in question, as established earlier, is the Brahmin priestly class. Let's forget that Parag, akin to his predecessors, is an embodiment of a woke personality that happened to hate the whites almost a decade ago, thereby rallying up the alt-right in the West and most certainly abhors the current nationalistic regime in India. However, Parag rose to the top position, being the cream of the crop. He gained admission to India's top engineering college, IIT Mumbai, studied the most after-sought course, computer science, with an AIEEE ranking of 77. He won a maths Olympiad in Istanbul in 2001, went to the US, pursued his higher education in top Ivy League colleges, joined the Bluebird Company in 2011 as an engineer, not in a top administration position, and worked his way through the ladder. Where did it look like that the supposed privileged Brahmin, or in his case Baniya, Parag used his privilege? He earned it on every single step. In whatever way does Parag turn out to be in the future, no one can take this away from him that he built his legacy and career through sheer hard work, not because some Twitter handle with caste in her username claimed that he used his caste equations with Jack Dorsey. Dorsey is many things, but he is certainly no Ravish Kumar, the idol of anti-Brahmin brigade that is going to ask Parag in an interview, "Kaun jaat ba?" or simply, "Which caste are you from?" Moreover, Jack Dorsey is the same man who, during his visit to India in 2018, stood in the company of some eminent liberals and was photographed holding a sign which promised to smash Brahminical patriarchy. So, if anything, Dorsey, like the Hindu Masai Brigade, hates Brahmins more than anything. Later, a defamation case was filed against Dorsey for the hate speech incident by All India Brahmin body, Vipra Foundation. Just to clear the record for social justice warriors of the country, Parag Agarwal is not a Brahmin. He is a Baniya, which happened to be the trade class of the country. Akin to the Brahmins, the Baniyas are a religious group as well that often found upholding the Dharma, which most SJWs detest. The name Agarwal, whether you spell it with a single G or double G, is derived from the Agargan state said to be founded by Maharaja Agrasen some 5,000 years ago in the modern-day Rajasthan. Most Agarwals follow Hinduism, although some are Jains. The texts and legends of the Agarwal community traced the origin of Agrawals to the legendary king Agarsen of the Solar dynasty, who adopted Vanika Dharma. The Agrawal community is split into 18 Gotras and, according to some, 17 and a half Gotras. These include Bansal, Goyal, Jindal, Kansal, Mittal, Singhal, and last but not the least, Garg, among others that most Indians will be familiar with because they are such a phenomenally successful community. A netizen gave a quick one-on-one class to the SJWs of the country by tweeting, "Parag Agrawal became a Brahmin overnight for anti-Hindu loonies, but it changes nothing if you say he's a Baniya. Baniyas are no less trouble for them. They make rich business empires, lead a religious life, they protect dharma and pump money power into cause of Hindus." Twitter is one of the modern day inventions that has hyperpolarized the world to an extent that there are only two shades to a topic of discussion: white and black. The grey area has seemingly lost the discourse, and thus Twitter grows and flourishes. A few years back, the social media platform was struggling to gain subscribers, but the divisive tactics of the platform helped it spectacularly revive itself. However, on the platform and in the West, there has been a growing trend lately where any Sanatan ritual or a person coming from upper class is gauged through the lens of Brahminical patriarchy. Twitter does nothing to curb that sort of hate speech. As for the SJWs, the presence of Brahmin entrepreneurs, CEOs, temples, and Hindu customs is an impediment for the left liberal cabal to impose their woke agendas on the public. However, as long as the Brahmins, the priests, Hindu groups, and even Baniyas stand guard, the Sanatan Dharma will continue to prevail. Its traditions, even though archaic, are embedded in the core human beliefs and ethos of humanity and care. Moreover, one prays that the activists of the free world out and about to wipe Brahmins off the face of the earth can at least get their caste game right.